Hey again, and welcome to a new video. So this is actually the next part of my Loadout Talk series, where I talk about every champion and every loadout I'm using for the legendaries I play with the champions. So as for the other parts as well, I won't do any cuts because I think it's more authentic. It's greater for you guys if you see my thinking process. So maybe I'm questioning some of my loadouts I'm using while talking about it or stuff, and yeah, just thinking it's greater for you to keep it at one video. And in the beginning, I want you to know that I made a Discord server, so if you want to join, just watch in the description. I will link the link to join my server. And for the ones who are only interested in one champion, because you already have a great loadout for the other ones, or I don't know, whatever, just look in the description as well. I will link the timestamps so you can skip the other champions. You don't have to watch the whole video. And just start with Inara, our first tank. And my main legendary for Inara is Mother's Grace because it's so strong. It gives you CC immunity. The CC immunity is so strong because almost every champion or in almost every team is one kind of damage of CC. So imagine maybe thinking about Ashe knockback, Pip ult, Pip slow, Maldamba ult, Maldamba slow, Maldamba stun, sorry, Maeve ult, whatever. You see, there are a lot of champions in almost every class, or I think in every class is at least one champion. So in at least one champion has CC in every team. So it's so strong to be completely immune against it. So imagine you're on the point fight, Maeve uses her ult, you can't see. You use your right click and you can see again. It's so strong in comms, so in ranked you can tell your team where everyone is because you can see, or maybe you use the right click because you hear the pip, or you're just thinking about maybe pip is going to ult. I use my right click to be immune. He uses actually his ult, and you are CC immune, so you can't get chickened. It's so strong. Then that's not all about the legendary. You get more damage reduction. So with this legendary, you have, I think now it's 40%. They actually nerfed it a little bit. So 40% damage reduction while using your right click, and you get, I think, 30% more heal. So with this legendary, now it's so tanky. You're literally unkillable while using your right click because you have so much damage reduction. You have so much HP. So um, 4700. So this is a lot of HP compared to the other tanks. And then a lot of free rejuvenate. You basically have rejuvenate in your base kit, in your base champion kit. So it's so strong you don't have to spend any credits to have rejuvenate. Just use your right click at the right time to get the rejuvenate advantage. Yeah, that's just it for the legendary. I will talk about the loadout now. So this is my main loadout for Inara. Because your ability, your right click, your earthen guard is so strong, you want to reduce the cooldown as much as possible. Because the lower the cooldown is, the more or the stronger is Inara. So the more you have an advantage to survive the fights. Because CC immunity, increase heal, decrease damage. It's so strong. Just reduce the cooldown and you are more tanky in general. But to be even more tanky, I decided to use Steadfast because remember I said Inara has a lot of base HP, but you increase it by 750, so you have even more HP, and you're so tanky because of your abilities and of your just raw health pool. It makes Inara so strong and makes her one of the best point tanks in this game currently. And just to be more independent from your healer, or to make it easier to stay alive, just a little bit of safe sustain. I've came up with Stone Bulwark 3 because I feel like it's a great card, and it's just great to use your right click and have a little bit of safe sustain. So just just great to sustain sometimes without your healer because you have a little bit of self sustain. And the last two cards are filler cards, but I think they are okay because you have already a lot of damage reduction, but you want to get more damage reduction if possible. So you use your F, your Waters field, and if you stay in it, you have 5% damage reduction. So maybe um, the idea is to you need to rotate your cooldowns on Inara. So you use your right click and then use your F, so your Waters field, because you don't want to use all your cooldowns at once. If you use all cooldowns at once for Inara or with Inara, it's pretty hard for you to stay alive because after you use your cooldowns, there's nothing left you can do to protect yourself or something. You just stand on the point and you're just eating damage until you're dead or stuff. You have nothing to protect yourself. So don't use all your abilities at once. Try to rotate them a little bit, play around them, use them one after another. And the last card is just standing stones to reduce the cooldown of your water field. So use your slow more because, as you remember, movement speed is great. So that also means if you decrease the movement speed of your one of your enemies, it's better for you because you have more movement speed than them, and it's easier for you to kill a slowed target. And because of the damage reduction, so those cards combine actually. The next legendary for Inara is Treacherous Ground. So your Waters field cripples enemies now, so you want to play as aggressive as possible. So you kind of want to play flank Inara. You want to go in, cripple someone, kill them, and that's basically the main idea about or behind this legendary. So maybe you play against an Androxys or Maeve. Well, maybe not Maeve because Maeve can double jump out of it, so it's kind of stupid. But you can cripple her for 1 second, then she uses her double jump and she can bounce out. So Maeve is a bad example here, but Androxys. So you cripple Androxys, he can't use his dashes, and he's slowed, so it's easy for you to kill him. And because you want to go in and play so aggressive, you want to be as tanky as possible. That's why you want to increase your maximum HP as much as possible as well. Because you play aggressive, you run into the enemy team, you just do what you usually don't want to do. So usually you don't want to go in the enemy team. You want to play safe or something as a tank, especially as a point tank. But there you kind of swap the role to an off tank because you want to go in and cripple the enemy team and get the kill. So that's why Steadfast 5. And because with this legendary you play around your Waters field as much as possible. You use it whenever you can. So in an easy way. And that's just why you want to use Standing Stones 5 to decrease your cooldown of your Waters field as much as possible, to go in, cripple, get the kill, have a lower cooldown because of this card, go in again, cripple again, get another kill, and so on. I guess you get the idea behind it. And because you're using this ability so often, so your cripple, your F, your Waters field so often, you also want to get another advantage for yourself. So if you stay in it or stand in it, so you basically never want to walk out actually. So I think I can't remember to use my Waters field and actually run out. You want to give yourself a little bit of damage reduction because you have less damage reduction because you're not playing Mother's Grace. So remember Mother's Grace, you have 40% damage reduction, but now you don't have the 10% increase, so you only have 30% damage reduction. And in the beginning, so the first time I've played Inara, I remember I wanted to get Treacherous Ground as a legendary because I felt like, well, this legendary is strong. I just can cripple the enemy team and it's so easy to get kills, but I didn't understand how strong Mother's Grace actually is. So now, after figuring out how to play Mother's Grace, I feel like you actually recognize the less damage reduction. So sometimes you are on the point and you actually think like, "Whoa, I'm getting so much damage." And those are just 10% less damage reduction. So you want to give yourself more damage reduction. And the last two cards actually again filler card, just a little bit of self sustain to sustain and yeah, just make it easier for you to stay alive and make it harder for the enemy team to kill you. And because Earthen Guard is basically a great ability, even if you're not playing Mother's Grace, this ability is so strong. So you get free rejuvenate 30%, even if you're not playing Mother's Grace, 30% rejuvenate, and still damage reduction. So this is so strong. You want to lower the cooldown more because you actually want to use this ability as well as much as possible. So that's why Geomancer won. And the last legendary for Inara is Tremors. So the idea behind Tremors is you want to use your walls to sometimes to go in, but also to block the enemy damage. So on some maps, it's just great for Inara to use Summit to get on the high ground. So maybe Serpent Beach. So the high ground, you all know the high ground on Serpent Beach after you capture the point. So you use your wall below you or underneath you, and you give yourself a knockback and just jump on the high ground and contest the high ground. And that's a thing you usually can't do with Inara or with other tanks because they can't get on the high ground. Maybe Ruckus, but you can't get on the high ground because it's well, yeah, it's high. You basically have to run around to get on it. But with this legendary and with this Loadout card, it's so easy for you to get up and help your flank, pressure the enemy flank, and just be present on the high ground because high ground is so strong, and it actually helps you on other maps as well to across some things you usually can't across with Inara and stuff. And it's so much fun to use the wall below you, knock yourself up, and then use your E, so use your ult and ult someone in the air. So this is just so much fun. And you also want to increase your maximum HP. I mean, you have your walls, you can play around your walls, but you have less damage reduction because you're not playing Mother's Grace. So as you can see, I always refer to Mother's Grace because this is the legendary where you have the most damage reduction. So every other loadout or legendary gives you less damage reduction. So because you have less damage reduction, you want to give yourself still a little bit of well, not a little bit, 600 more HP, and because you're using a wall so often, playing around your wall so often, having two walls actually, you want to heal yourself a little bit. Or I've come up with the heal on my wall is so strong. So as you can see, you have an initial cooldown of 5 seconds, so you actually can't use your walls. Yeah, like use one wall, use another wall, and get the heal of 900. So there's an initial cooldown of 5 seconds, and just to make your wall cooldowns stronger or your wall rotation or whatever, just give you a little bit of cooldown reduction after you're getting an elimination. So you have your walls up more often, have a lower cooldown. Even for your other abilities, it's so good because, as you remember, Earthen Guard in general is so strong. So reduce the cooldown as much as possible. And that's why I also use Geomancer 1, sorry. So this is for Inara. The next tank is Terminus, and I actually only play, so most of the time, I only play Decimation because it's so strong, so much fun. But sometimes I play Undying. The other one, I actually don't know how it is called, Crush. I don't play Crush because I don't like it. But this is my loadout for Decimation. So you want to play around your Siphon. So with this legendary, you want to use your Siphon as much as possible because your Siphon is so strong. So you can't destroy, or the enemy team can't destroy your Siphon because it's not affected by Wrecker or something. So they can't really shoot through it. You absorb the whole damage. And there's almost no enemy who can actually damage you while using your siphon. There is like another term, which is pretty unlucky in rank, but you see it in casuals sometimes. And there's Mako and Household. These are the tanks who can damage you through it and maybe can't, or something, some abilities like Janus ult or whatever, but you get the point. So you can't get damaged through the siphon if you're using it correctly. And because your siphon is so strong, and for the ones who don't know, if you use your siphon and you absorb the damage, you not only absorb it, you also create a little charge. So these are the little charges you can see in the middle of your screen. So to say, you can you can hold up to 4 charges at once. So you want to reduce the damage you need to build or to create a Calamity Blast charge by 600. That's why I'm using Necromantic Might 5, because it's important for the next card. The next card actually helps you to make your charges work, or to give you more advantage than you already have because of your legendary. So your legendary increases the damage you do with your charges. So your charges to 100. Each charge does 100 more damage. And the idea behind those two cards is like you absorb the damage, you build up 4 charges, then you already use some of your siphon mana or whatever. It's kind of a cooldown, but it's more like mana. Then you hit your charges, so you use your right click, hit it on an enemy, and you get back 10% of your power siphon for each charge you hit on your enemy. So that's why you want to use both of these cards, and I've seen a lot of Terminus players, or I only see other Terminus players who use these two cards on with 5 points as well. Playing this legendary, because you need them to play the legendary properly. And the next card, in my opinion, is great because it supports yourself to be more tanky, have a bigger sustain, so to say, because you use your right clicks, your charges, to reset your siphon and to give your enemy a huge lot of burst, so to say, of burst damage, because you fire so much burst and you use them so often, you want to give yourself, while firing them, a little bit of heal. So you deal a lot of burst to the enemy, and you get a lot of burst, lot of burst of heal for yourself when hitting those charges. And I think this card actually fits perfectly in the play state to use your charges so often to reset your cooldowns, so your siphon, and the next two cards. As you can see, the next two cards are so important for me, my opinion, for almost every tank. Increase your HP if you can, because it's so great to have more HP, to be more tanky, to survive longer, to stay alive longer, to make it harder for the enemy team to actually kill you. And the next card you get rejuvenate for free, so you don't have to spend credits. You just get more heals while you're low. So this is like this is so good. You're low HP. You don't want to be low HP because then it's more likely to die. So you get an advantage in your loadout to get healed up faster. So this is actually so great. And you almost have on every time those two cards to increase your damage, your heal you get, and increase your maximum HP. So now to the Undying loadout. In Undying, you have so much damage reduction already. So if you're at or below 40% of your maximum HP, you get 20% damage reduction base. So you kind of have some kind of damage reduction in your base kit now. But you want to increase the damage reduction you have as much as possible. So that's why you're using Strength of Stone. So you reduce the damage for every charge, for every calamity charge you have built up or you hold. So you remember, you hold 4 charges, or you can hold up to 4 charges. So 4 times 20 is 80. So you have 80% damage reduction just for holding up your charges. So remember when Ashe used to have 90% damage reduction on her dash, and they actually nerfed it because it was so strong, and it was only because of one ability on Ashe, and you almost have it like the full time holding up 4 charges. It's so strong. I mean, 80% is only close to 90%, but it's still so strong. And you increase the damage reduction you have when you're at or below 40% as well. So, but the disadvantage of this loadout or of this legendary is you need to sacrifice one of your ability. So you need to sacrifice the ability of your calamity charge, calamity blast, because you're not using it. You want to keep it. You want to hold it. You sacrifice one ability. But there's actually another card who supports this. So if you keep up your charges and you don't fire them, you actually increase your movement speed by 10% for each charge you hold up. So remember when I talked about Dumba, to increase the movement speed with your heal of your Terminus, because it feels so great for Term to be faster than the enemy team or the enemy in general, because you actually can deal damage now. You're faster, you reach them, they can't run away from you, so you actually hit them with your axe. So your axe deals 650, I think, or 600. I actually don't know. So around 600 damage, and you sacrifice your ability, your right click, to be more tanky, to have more damage reduction, but you also support this. It's kind of weird, but you you actually support this ability to not use your actual your general ability by giving yourself more movement speed. And because you want to be even more tanky, you want to increase your maximum HP more, so you run in, be tanky because of your damage reduction, be tanky because of your maximum HP increase. So it's so hard for you to get killed. And you also want to play around your siphon as much as possible. And because you can't use your right clicks and can't use the other loader card to reduce or to give yourself siphon charge, you want to use another card who gives you siphon charge, because your siphon is still pretty strong even if you can't reset it with the other cards. So you use it watches to hit your axe because you are tanky. You have so much damage reduction, you actually can run into the enemy team, do something you usually won't do, run in, use your axe, use your siphon, you're running out of siphon charge, use your axe again, recharge your siphon, use your siphon again. So, see, you're tanky in general because of your the whole damage reduction, and then you're even more tanky because of your siphon. So, the enemy actually can't destroy your siphon. So, this is pretty strong. And again, increase just the health while you're low. So that's it for Term. As I said, I don't play Crush because I don't like it. I think it's not that great because you actually need to hit your Shadowfall to stun the enemy team and yeah, whatever. Next champion is going to be Atlas, and with Atlas, I actually don't play. I actually only play Deja Vu and, or I don't know, temporal divide. I always forget this ability. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I have to look it up again while talking about it. So I actually can't remember. And I'm not playing Unstable Fisher because I didn't like it. So let me explain. You sacrifice the best ability of Atlas. So with Atlas, you can play aggressive or get damaged. You fall below your half HP, whatever. You are pretty low. You use your F, you rewind, and are back at almost, I don't know, full HP or whatever. So you give yourself a second chance, and this is so strong. So with this legendary, you need to go in and use your F, although you're not really needing it to deal damage. And I think it's kind of stupid to sacrifice the strongest ability of Atlas, so your second chance, your second life, so to say, when you're not needing it. So just to deal damage. That's why I don't play it, and I don't like it. And for the other two legendaries, I kind of play the same legendaries. I actually am not the best Atlas, so I play pretty similar loadouts. And this is one loadout I've been playing with. Oh, I forgot it again. Temporal Divide. Um, because you increase your size of your wall, you want to get some kind of advantage. So give you yourself and your team movement speed while walking through your status field. So because of your wall is so huge, it's so easy for you, and for you it's always easy to walk through it, but for your team as well to work through it because it's so huge. And 35% movement speed increase is so great. This card actually was even better, but they nerfed it. But it's still a great card, I think, because you give yourself and your team a lot of movement speed, so it's easier for you and your team to kill the enemies and just go in, play aggressively, and on the other hand, have a lot of safety because of this huge wall. So the wall is similar to Term Siphon because you can't destroy it. It doesn't matter if the enemy team has Wrecker or not because they can't destroy it. And I personally think the best part of it, or the worst, it depends on on which side you're playing, is it absorbs every projectile. So I remember when Atlas was new, the first time, or kind of the first time I played against him, I played Pip and I wanted to heal my team, but he used his wall, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I just used my potion, and I threw my potion, and it got actually stuck in the wall because the wall absorbs every kind of projectile, and it doesn't matter if it damages you or not. So I was like, well, my potion doesn't damage him, so it should go, or it should pass through it, but it actually didn't. So it's so strong, you can prevent healing through your shield. So there's literally no other tank who can prevent healing, like maybe in Overwatch where shields can prevent heal. So you can't shoot through the shield to heal. So maybe okay if you're playing Combat Medic or whatever, but every other heal can't get blocked by shields or something. So this is actually so great for Atlas. And the next card is you want to reduce the cooldown of your status field because it's so strong. So hit your right click, set your enemy back. So with this legendary, it's actually kind of hard to hit it. You just need to train it, to practice it. But if you figure out how to play around your projectile, you need actually to hit to set the enemy back and to get the cooldown reduction of your status field. It's so great because your cooldown is so long on Atlas Shield while playing this legendary. You want, or in general, he has a lot of long cooldowns. You want to reduce the cooldown as much as possible. And it's basically the same with, or like Grover Deep Roots. With Grover Deep Roots, you want to hit your right click, so you cripple to reduce the cooldown of your Q, and here it's the same. You want to hit your right click, your setback, to reset the cooldown of your wall. And another great card again, Old Wounds, just to increase your HP to be more tanky, because Atlas has his rewind, yes, but you also have a huge hitbox, so it's so easy if you not have your wall up and you have a long cooldown, remember? It's so easy for the enemy team to deal damage to you, to hit you, because your hitbox is so huge. So that's why you want to increase the HP and make it harder for the enemy team to kill you, or make the enemy team need to shoot longer to you to actually kill you. And the last two cards, again, a little bit of self-sustain while using your wall and getting more healing while at or below 50% health. The next loadout for Atlas, this is more like a deja vu loadout because you here I don't have cards for my shield, so to say. So the movement card, I have other cards which helps me more or which support me more, like again cooldown reduction of your shield because your shield in general is so good. It doesn't matter if you play. I forgot it again. temporal divide or not, because your shield is still so strong to use. You want to get the damage reduction here. It's even easier to hit it because you can hit more enemies at once. So you hit your projectile on the ground and set two people back, so to say, and get 5 seconds cooldown reduction after hitting one enemy. Or for each enemy, you get 5 seconds cooldown reduction of your wall. Again, because your wall is smaller, so it's more likely for the enemy team to walk around it or to damage you. Want to increase your maximum HP more and give you a lot of self-sustain. So more self-sustain while using your shield. So you want to use your shield when you're low, then you use, so you're low, use your shield, you get healed by your shield, and after it, if you get pushed or something, then you can use your movement, your F, your setback for your rewind. Um, yeah, and again, a little bit of more heal, free rejuvenate while at of below 50%, and just make sure you get ammo. I have one ammo left while hitting an enemy because your setback is so strong. You wait until the enemy team or the enemy member is low. You set them back. They can't do anything about it. They can buy resilience, yes, but they can't prevent you to hit them after your rewind because even if they have resilience, you still set them back in time. So they can't do anything about it. The second your rewind stops, so to say, you have a free shot onto them. So you want to make sure to actually have one shot to kill them or to deal a lot of burst damage. And the last loadout I'm using or I've been trying out is this one. Give you more heal, more rejuvenate while you're low, reduce your cooldown again, give you more HP again, and just a little bit of self-sustain and make sure to have ammo. So those cards are, or those loadouts are pretty similar, but again, I actually am not the best Atlas in the world. I'm no champion the best. This is not what I wanted to say. I just wanted to say I don't really know how to play Atlas good or play him good in a constant way. Constant like constantly be good with Atlas or I don't know how to explain that. I think you get what I tried to say. So yeah, I think we are already at 30 minutes. I usually was planning on making 4 shims today and 3 the next part. But I think this is even better because I had so much to say about those 3 champions. And yeah, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you in some way. If you have ideas what I can improve, please let me know in the comments. Always tell me what you think I could improve or something. And again, remember to follow me on Twitter for updates. Join my Discord if you want to hang out. I am down to help you guys, or I'm down to talk to you guys and just meet new people. And yeah, just thanks for watching and the feedback on the other videos. It actually means so much to me. Another guy recommended in the comments that I could do like what I did in the last video, the rewatch of my own gameplay for you guys. So if you want me to rewatch your gameplay or tell you what I think about your gameplay, just let me know. Send me a video or whatever. And again, I'm talking too much. I'm so sorry. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great day. Enjoy your Christmas season and enjoy your holidays, your family time. This is great time of the year. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys are so awesome.